No one can hear you, Taryn.
Oh, sorry. We're live here. Should I put Lonnie backstage for a second?
No,
Okay. Hey, everybody.
no. We can
Hey,
have Lonnie
hey.
on. Have everybody
Lon-
on.
yeah, we're still waiting for people to show up here on the viewership, but I think we'll be good here. I'm gonna put my mask on here.
How about
All
when you
right.
put how about when you put your mask on, you take yourself off the stage.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that shouldn't be an issue. All right, and we have some people watching now. Hey, everybody, it's us. We are going live here because we have details about this year's musical festival, and we're super excited to share those with you. We have a couple guests with us, of course. We have Lonnie Hughes, one of the producers on our team, that's here with us. And then, Richard and I, and in a little bit, we're going to also have our two other producers on, Nathan Nonhoff, and then Rachel Elise Johnson, who will be joining us as well. So we're very excited to have all of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. Rachel is our festival producer, so she'll have a lot to talk about what's going on. And then Lonnie is just one of our creative geniuses, and is going to be doing a lot of stuff with us. Um, but I guess the first thing we get to announce is that we have dates for this year's festival, which is
Woohoo!
super exciting. Um, Taryn, you want to throw the dates in the comments somewhere? Just say, kind of make it a banner or make an announcement that goes across the screen, just saying,
Yeah, absolutely. Let me make that right now.
yeah. And so we're super excited. And so there's some kind of small little changes to this year's kind of format of the festival. Um, they're all big changes. They're not small, they're big. One of those changes is that it will not be for charity this time around. It will actually be its own event, um, where we will actually be paying all the crew and all the actors for this festival. It still will be in our digital format, which we love. We're calling it teletheater, is what we've been calling it. So we're super excited about being able to present um, during with this festival. But the cool thing is, and I can kind of throw it to Lonnie to talk about too at some point, is that we have that sing. I don't want to go to the single, Taryn. That way I don't have to look at my face. Please, um, please. It's so distracting. Keep me on triple when I'm talking. Thank you. So yeah, I mean we're super excited in the sense that we're not presenting four of our shows. Boo! I know. Anyway, um, but we're going to present four new musicals from four different creative teams, and we're going to be opening up those submissions and looking for that new work. Our goal is to champion marginalized voices that are not heard, and their stories that haven't been told. That is our desire with this festival itself. And we felt like last year's festival, although it was for the actors, did so well and reached so many people that it was something worthy for us to build on top of again. So we're so excited because I think we're going to bring some really beautiful musicals to you guys. We will do the full shows of those musicals, and that's that script and all music. And the cool process is we will work with those creative teams to show them how to do it in this format, and really show them how to succeed. Now we know that Broadway is not going to be opening at least at the earliest um, fall of this year. So that means most theaters will follow, but it's still a long time away before we're going to get to see any kind of live theater in a building. So this just gives the opportunity to these shows that already have a hard time trying to make it because producers are really looking for commercial or movies to turn it into musicals. This allows them to be able to get off the ground yeah, and that's when I would throw it to Lonnie. Lonnie, why do you think this is so important?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I think it's more important is that we are living in a digital world right now. And I mean, we've been living in a digital world for probably the last 40 years, or not 40, probably, yeah, in some way, or 20 something years. But what we have advanced in is that now, I hate to say it, but, this is an opportunity that's met with some kind of scare tactic that we, if I had to say it in a very business mind, we are capitalizing on actually presenting work in the homes of people that normally wouldn't have the opportunity just to take off to go to theater. And I think with what we're doing and the voices that we're looking for, I think it might have an impact. And without sounding so like really like guru-ish, but we're moving in a new age of the Aquarius, so why not bring new voices? And I think what better than a team that has been on the cutting edge of actually bringing forth this new type of musical teletheater, which is not just theater, which is just not TV, but a combination of both, with something that we're ourselves we're getting familiar with it. And I like working with you guys. And I think the way how we've been integrating this language of theater and with visuals has been somewhat successful, if I can say, for the team. And I think I'd like to push forward to see what we can do with it, and not only giving great theater to people, but creating a new brand that allows for people who have either not the venues or the price tag to actually get to Broadway. We can present things that can allow people to kind of go, wow, I would love to see that further. So that's why I feel like this is such an important body of work, and not only important body of work, but the team that we're playing with. I've never been more excited. As you guys know, I've worked with quite a bit of teams, but this team really advances me to be all of who I am without any questions, and then to bring that to the work, and then find those same exact voices in musical theater. I mean, or in what we're calling teletheater. This is amazing. It's a great time. And I was part of the MTV world when it started, and it feels like this is what we're doing within this realm. We're creating that new, like, come play with us with this new THTV, this teletheater TV that we're creating, that is so exciting. And for those who've never done a Zoom, who's not done anything recording, I have to tell you, the intimacy level that we have been touching with creating these characters. I have not met some of the producers in physical form, and I feel like I actually know them. But when we work together, the way that we've been working together has been such an advanced study of communication that personally, I'm learning how to communicate better on so many different languages, in so many different platforms. So I really have to say thank you for you guys, but also what we're looking forward to bring forward to the public is new. It's, dare saying, cutting edge without putting too much pressure on us, but at the same time, stylistic, simplistic, and honest.
Yeah, and I think it's worth adding to that. As a producing team, we've all had this conversation on what does this look like past COVID, and this is a decision where we've said, you know what, this is this is something that we want to really take and keep going and keep it digital. So we're not trying to make this musical festival something that ever lives in person at some point. This is going to remain digital from now until the end. And on that note, let's bring in our other two producers here. We have Nathan Nonhoff with us. Hi, Nathan. And we have Rachel Louise Johnson. Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Hey.
So Rachel, obviously I think I set it up for you, but we would of course love to hear from you as the festival director, and for you to kind of go into more detail about that conversation that we've been having on the future of this festival.
Yeah, thank you. What a perfect lob up for me. So the goal, as Taryn had mentioned and has been mentioned a few times, we never want to stray away from a digital platform. And there's a few reasons we don't want to do that. The primary being that everyone, or the majority of the world at this point, has access to media like this. So why not make it available in people's homes? In a world where Netflix and Amazon Prime and On Demand are all happening, why not have musicals on demand? Why not show people how the capabilities of what you can do when you merge theater and film? And the goal is that it never leaves that arena. And more than that, we want it to be international. We want to not only reach audiences worldwide, but we want to work with producers and directors and writers and actors and anything and everything between, because how we truly expand in the arts, how we truly make a difference, and we bring something new and innovative, is that we work with people that we might not have had an opportunity to work with before if it weren't for remote access, if it weren't for us trying to do something that people don't really do, right? It's very difficult to do musical works that stand on their own, that actually have performers performing not only the acting, but the musicals in a digital space that is inherently live, right? So we see a future where this goes so far beyond even what we're doing, and not only in the technological capabilities, but in the audiences we reach and in the people we work with. You know, Lonnie mentioned that a lot of us haven't met. I haven't actually physically met a single person on this team, and I greatly look forward to the day that I can. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the fact that we're able to have an artistic conversation and have a relationship through a digital media and create and bring beautiful work to audiences all over the world. And that's what we're doing. We are innovating the platforms and the mechanisms by which we bring it to people and by which we work with people all throughout the world. And we are working to show people how musicals can be developed and what's out there, and hear the voices that we don't often get to hear, and take our art to the next level.
Yeah, wonderfully put. I was waiting for someone else to chime in. It was great.
Well said.
Yeah, do you want to chime in, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, that was just very well put and very succinct and very to the point. And thank you for that very great explanation, Rachel. We're super excited to jump in and explore what amazing creativities lie within this fun realm. And I kind of want to trail or piggyback off of what Rachel was talking about with, expanding not only what we're doing now, but, keep pushing the format. And I think there's so much to be explored in so many ways we can play with video technology, and how many ways we can integrate, working live and working, recording in this medium that we just haven't seen, or that maybe we're starting to beginning to get to see, as far as like cool just elements that we can add that we might not have been able to do on a theater, or something that would have cost like an astronomical amount of money that we can now do via Zoom or via Skype or whatever platform we're using. So that's really exciting, and I'm really stoked to sort of start to push those boundaries. And and what a cool opportunity we do have to bring creatives from all over the world into the same space. I know that it has been happening within the arts for many years in a live space, but it's such a cool arena to get to play with people from all over the world in this new stage as well, and really incorporating and bringing in those new ideas as well. And so it's just a big bubbling pot of goodness right now, and I love it.
And to add to that, Nathan, I think that you're right. To your point, we've seen this in live theaters where they bring people from all over the world to work with. But there's a distinctive difference between what we're doing and what's been done. And it's that there are people in this world who don't get to experience live theater. There are people who have never seen musicals, but they may be people who could contribute to the musical theater world, whether it be as a patron or as a creator. And we have an opportunity to take an audience of people that we never would have necessarily reached before, and open their minds to something that they may fall in love with. And our whole goal is to amplify voices that aren't heard. So what better way to do that than give them a chance to actually see it?
Yeah, yeah, that's super, super cool. Very excited for that. And I think the level of excitement that is building and that has already been built with people about it as well, just for that reason about, like we, access to or people having access to something that they hadn't had before. And there's so much excitement and so much stuff to be unleashed in that, and that's super fun.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys all both hit on that. You folks both hit on that. I think what we're trying to do with the Alan Gray Musical Festival is not try to replicate anything that theater is doing, and we're not trying to replicate anything that television or film is doing. We have realized that this is its own thing, and it can be used in an opportunity for creators in a unique way that would allow them to discover more about their project, but also get them the exposure that you can't get doing a local regional production. Let's be honest, if I do a show and I do it only in Atlanta, only people from Atlanta can see it. This changes the game in such a big way. So I, as a theater performer, and the old process for theater is that I got to do it at a local place regionally, and then I got to do it maybe at another local place to see if it balances out. Am I selling the same amount of tickets? Are we getting the same kind of hype that we got when we were in San Diego that we are going to get in Washington, D.C.? Because that's going to tell us something. Oh, no, now let's go to New York. And now we can see if that all made sense. It doesn't make sense, really, but that's the process for theater. That's just been a thing, and no one's tried to fix it because the powers that be don't want to. Let's just be real about it. I think this affords us an opportunity to kind of buck a trend in a way, but also do a new thing. And I think that will help the writers, and I think that's what our festival is all about. Our festival is a writer-forward festival. Our goal is for them to make discoveries, for them to have opportunities, and while doing that, entertain the masses with these beautiful musicals in a really cool format that can have a cinematic tone to it, but also can have a theatrical where you can imagine it in a theater at some point if that's what the creators end up deciding that's what they want to do with their piece. But because we're at an intersection of cinema and theater, this allows them to kind of figure out what is the best format for my piece, because I think that's not the opportunity we always get as theater makers. We're just, we start out in theater and it's just a theater, and then it hopefully goes to Broadway, and then we get the movie. That's the weird way of going about it, where I think now we have to start looking at it with this new thing where all these different producers are wanting to put on shows. We have to look at it, okay, maybe there's an opportunity to put on a musical right away as a movie. And maybe that's an opportunity for creators to discover through the festival. I don't want to bore everybody.
Yeah,
That's
no,
I
think that a lot of that is touching on. I kind of want to circle back on and maybe dive just a tiny bit deeper into what you were saying about the analytical side of all this, which is the fact that it is, what the tools that things like that people like Netflix and HBO Max and all these other platforms, the tool that they have that's the most powerful is that they're able to see, really a deep dive into the analytics of who are the people that are watching your programming. What are they doing? Where do they exist? What are they into? Where are they regionally? And that's going to be a really powerful tool that's going to become available to musical theater creators, through something like this, because they're going to be able to all of a sudden really get to start to understand and see, which cities are really resonating with their storyline, so that they can start talking to theaters specifically in those regions about maybe taking it there into a regional seated theater and having a production. So we're really excited to do that.
Being able to name your top 5 cities is a very important thing, and when it comes to sales. and those analytics definitely help with that.
And then
It's
on top of that, of course, just the fact that we're talking about a global scale. So this doesn't have to exist. You know, this isn't something where it has to exist even nationally. It could be international, and that goes both ways. So that's not just musical theater creators getting to find homes internationally. It's also the audience getting to find pieces internationally. And maybe there's something. Yeah.
No. I was just going to piggyback on what you guys were saying. It for me, what excites me about this, you know, most creatives comes into a project with the producers and they never get information. So they you know, they're guided, they're misguided on some cases, and they never really get the crux of everything. With this, we're creating a creative business artistic model that has a language for everyone. And so I think this the accessibility for a creative to come in within this, and then we're able to kind of go, look, you've, like what Karen just said, you know, oh, it seemed like viewership is really big in Atlanta, or maybe, you know what, wow, we have an even keel right here. Great, this is actual information that these individuals, these creatives can take back out to their drawing board and literally go, look, we did this. We actually had so many viewerships from this. This was the feedback. It's international. It's global, or it's just in Florida. Whatever it is, it's facts. We are given facts to the creative for them to actually take back and go, look, Mr. Investor, this is money. And so the platform is not just for what do you call it, for marginalized voices. It's for the education of people on all fronts who might be afraid of musicals, might be afraid of theater, might be afraid to just be able to just go, oh, well, I don't really see this. We're giving them proof. And that is something that excites me, because as a creative, you know, going in to pitch something, you're constantly going, well, I see it like this. Well, you kind of with this, you don't have to go, I see it like this. Here it is. Now, if you're interested, please. If not, let's move on. And so that's what I'm interested about this project, this platform, and the thesis of new voices.
Yeah.
That is so, I mean, think about that. Like, we can actually have non-intimidating stories that could be at times be intimidating to one person that never gets through the door. We can have a platform for people to go, my God, I really like that. Or someone who actually at some point would be going, no, that's not something that I'd be interested. Go like, oh my God, I never would have allowed this because it sounds so threatening to the ideology of who I am. And now let's bring that into the theater.
What were you gonna say, Rachel?
Yeah, I was going to piggyback on your comment as well as Lonnie's. There's another element to these analytics, another thing that we get to learn, you know, both for our creatives and for our audiences and also for ourselves, is, like you said, we get to learn who's watching and where, right? But the key to that, there's an element to that that's really beautiful. We get to learn who's watching and where and who's not watching. And those who aren't watching, why aren't they watching? Is it because they don't know? Is it because they don't have access? You know, what are the reasons? Because as artists and as producers, once we know what the barrier is, we can then start to break through it. We can figure out why we're not reaching an entire region of people, or a group of people, or age group, or whatever it may be. And we can take that as an opportunity and a challenge to find a way to make musical art available to everyone, to figure out what they need, what hurdle they have to overcome, or we have to overcome, so that everyone can know what it is we're creating and the voices we're amplifying. It changes accessibility and visibility for not only us, but for other people. And that's such a huge feat, and it's going to be such a giant leap for musical art.
Yes.
Loving that.
I think what I'm very excited about for everybody, and I'll introduce these things, is that, you know, we really do have a great team. They talked about each other, and us. We talked about them. But, you know, you have Rachel, who's really going to be leading the festival itself. And so there's going to be opportunities for people, if you're stage managers, or first ADs, or this mixture of like different things, directors, music directors, all of these different positions that we will be hiring for. Development directors, we're going to be staffing up in a few couple months. So if you're watching this, definitely share it with your friends and stuff, because this is an opportunity, I think, to be a part of something really cool. I've run a couple festivals in my lifetime, and I've always had an amazing time doing those festivals and being a part of something that's bringing art to the masses. And I think that's always super cool. So Rachel will be in charge of the festival itself and hiring and the whole process. And if you are like an actor, talent kind of deal, we have Lonnie and Nathan who will be heading that up, and they'll probably will be doing it like a general audition and application period for actors to be a part of the database, so that you can get the information about the different shows that we will be hiring for. And these will all be paid positions. For the majority of these positions, all will be paid. I can't say they'll all be paid and then say they're not all paid. All these positions will be paid. So, we're very excited about that too, because, theater folks, even film folks, we have been out of, we've been out of business, right? So no one's had any work. And here's an opportunity for, if you are any of those positions, if you are a person with that kind of experience, to have some work. Here's a chance for actors to get paid for what they do really well, and we're very excited about that process. And maybe, Rachel, you can kind of just do a little spill about the work that we're looking for the festival.
You mean the creative or the production team wise, or all?
For shows.
The creative teams. Yeah.
Yeah, creative teams. Yeah. So like Ricky mentioned, similar to an actual stage play, right? We're looking for all the components. We need directors, we need stage managers, we need costumers, and we don't need set designers per se, but we need editors. That's actually unique, or not editors. We need people with technological experience, right? Sound and who are comfortable with the different platforms we may be using. We're looking for people who are willing to push the boundaries, who aren't restricted or married to traditional theater necessarily. They're willing to step outside those lines, right? You have all the experience, you know what to do, you know your jobs, but are you willing to push those boundaries, push those experiences, and take them into a new arena to help further an amazing art along? And but it's the same concept, right? There's new challenges though. When you direct in this arena or when you stage manage, you're dealing with a digital stage. So it's not the same as trying to figure out where they stand stage left and stage right, but it has the same artistic vision. It's just applied in a new way. So really what we're looking for are people who are willing to learn and grow and teach us things as we teach you things, and work with us. Let's just expand together, and let's bring this new art, this new delivery to life, and let's make it better as much as it can be every single time with every show. And we do have 4 shows, so we need teams for all 4, right? So there's more than just one position when we say a director and a stage manager. We have 4 shows. So if you're at all interested, if you're up for the challenge and you're excited about the idea of this new way of bringing musicals to people, please reach out. Please let us know. We want to work with people who have innovative ideas and are willing to push that envelope.
Yeah, and then I believe I think Nathan and Lonnie will be building a database, which will launch in a couple of weeks, for actors to be able to put their information in so that they can be notified about upcoming auditions and all of those things as well. We can't give you any specifics as talent what we're looking for, because we don't know what shows we have yet. But if you go ahead and sign up for that database, you'll be able to know what kind of shows we have coming up and how you can be used as an actor. Now, and just to do some cleanup stuff, because of the format that we're in, you do not need to be equity in order to do the show. And you don't even need to necessarily be SAG because SAG allows non-union. And this will be a SAG union project, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff if you are an equity person, which is great. You know, you just get to be hired and do the thing, and you have another union to take care of you. And so that's kind of how that will go down for this space, as we've seen the big, go between equity and SAG about who owns what space. Now we know, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, Taryn, do you have anything about what shows you're looking for, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's all a great segue into saying that we haven't chosen all of our shows yet, and we
haven't chosen any of the shows yet.
We haven't chosen any yet. We do have some ideas in our head of what we're looking at, but there's complete openings in our programming. So if you are watching or know anyone who has a show and you think that this is a great fit for them, please, of course, submit to alanandgray.com. There's a link there where you can just go in and you can submit directly to us, and we're going to see it. We ask you for some materials and all that to get an idea of what you're about. But then we'll be in contact regardless. We'll make sure we get back to you. We're really looking for shows that amplify the marginalized voices, as you know that's one of our big. It's one of the big things that we care about the most in this, and being digital, it's a huge amplification that we have available to us. And so, if in any way your show deals with any specific minority group or any specific cause, those are really the ones that we kind of look at first and take into consideration with the most regard.
Yeah, we want them to be funny. We want them to be dramatic. We want all kinds. We want the pop musical. We want the old school musical. We want you to push, the boundaries, because we can do that in this forum, and we can take the time to have fun with that. So definitely, if don't think we're looking because Taryn and I are certain types of musical theater writers that, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for replicates of what we do. We're looking for those unique narrative voices, and that are strong and bold in what they do. And I think, and that itself will be interesting to an audience, I think, because we have to make sure it's entertaining at the same time. But, and that's why we're on here. We're on here to pitch all these things to you guys, because we want, hopefully we want you guys, as you watch this or watch this later or whatever you're doing, to go, oh, I've got a show, or, oh, I'm a director, or I'm a this, to know that these opportunities are out there for you. And we will keep, magnifying and bullhorning all of these opportunities, because we want to get you guys back to work. We want to get back to work. And I think this is going to be a fun and creative process for us to do it. So does anyone else have anything to add to that?
Yes, I do have a quick question for the team. And just as a reminder, maybe to fill into the audience, are we looking for complete shows? Are we looking for shows to develop in? Or like that's, I'd just like for us to make that clear.
Yeah, we're not a developmental festival. So we're,
right.
In some regards, of course, we can give you a little bit of feedback, but we are not in the process of giving you a literary team that's going to fix your work. We are hoping for works that are ready to go on a stage, that are ready to go, or not on a stage, to be seen publicly, right? We are the stepping stone to the next step, which is, as Ricky mentioned earlier, whether you decide you want to be in film or you want to be on a stage, we are your launch point, so to speak. So complete works are absolutely necessary, full scores, full everything.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Taryn and I will definitely be doing with the teams is really looking at how we can help you present the best work possible. We know that it's very hard for a lot of teams to have big arrangements and all these things that we tend to have in all of our shows, from the beginning, and so we know that most teams have, a piano and them singing the stuff, and that's the resources we will be able to help provide for them to have a polished product at the end of this, that they'll be able to continue on the journey of whatever life will be after our festival, and we want to make sure that it's a good life. So we won't help you develop your story per se, but we will help you develop the polish that you need in order to present work.
It's a great
Yeah.
space. It's a great space to be part of, to be examined, and being that we all have had some part of, I don't want to say disappointment when you go to producers. I think if I'm clear to um, both the heads, I think this was birthed out of kind of like, oh, again, we're disappointed. Like, oh, like, can someone just hug us in a way as creative writers that we can actually feel supported? And I said, so, I mean, I know some in our meetings, I think what we came down to was the ability to actually allow the writers to relax in some way and watch what they actually spend so many hours cultivating and demonstrating and pulling and trying to find. Let's present it to you. And so if this is bold enough to say, I feel like we are actually presented to the public with the writers, but we are actually given an opportunity for the writers. We're going like, we want to present this to you. This is our homage for your time. This is our homage for even having the moment to be so bold to put it on paper. Now we want to actually take this from you as a creative nanny and actually show you some really great way to feed the baby, to access it when it needs to be, to how to hold it when it's crying, to temper it, and then to actually usher it for presentation as a good, my child is a very good child, into the public eye. And I think it's such a great space. And, we all love caretaking. What is the healthiest way to be in a space digitally where we can't really screw things up by messing up emotions, but we could present something that allows everyone to see what they are, who they are, in the most beautiful, honest way, with collaborators from around the world. Amazing.
And we're a safe space. We're a space made up of artists. This entire producing team is made up of not only producers, but of artists, of directors and performers and writers. We will take your work and we will love it and we will care for it and we will give it everything we have to make it beautiful. And especially for those voices or those shows that you don't see very often, right? If you're apprehensive, if you're a writer who has a fully written show, but you're scared to put it forward because it's risky or it talks about something that's, not necessarily mainstream, give it to us. Let us show the world what you've written. We will give it all the love and energy we have because that's what we need to hear. That's what the world needs to hear. And we want to help you get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that. Now you see why she's going to be our festival producer, because all that passion. It's awesome.
It's a lot.
I mean, and that's what you want. You want someone to protect your ugly baby. And that's, I think, Taryn and I, speaking to, because till it's pretty, you don't want to show it to the people,
So,
you want to wait. And I think that's what Taryn and I, in our way, we thought we were getting that protection sometimes and we weren't, and that's where we became slightly disillusioned with the process. And we go, is this the best process? Because we have to come as an industry and realize that, this may not be the best process for all creatives, and the fact that it's the only process doesn't make any sense. Right. We should have processes available for what is the best for getting the work to be where it needs to be. Not just draw people out in 5 workshops because that's what people do in theater. I mean, that's what we heard all the time. Well, that's just what we do in theater. Well, you know what? It's time to think of something else. Honestly, if we go by what you just do in theater, then we know that you hire white males for mostly everything. We know that, that you're not interested in producing minority shows. I mean, we understand what you're used to doing in theater. We're no longer going to be cool about it. And I think that's where we're at as creators. We're like, okay, there's a sense of playing the game, which is fine, I guess. But there's also a sense of you making your own destiny. And that is so important in order to have work that really represents you. And, you know, we've had so many producers try to give us advice on how to change the work that no longer would ever service us as writers, you know, and we're going, whoa, what, how does that even make sense? You know, and that's what we're not going to do. And so we're very excited. We're very excited to work with artists. I think those that have worked with us so far in the concert series and whatever have seen the respect that we have for their work and what they do. And we're happy to continue that with this team. And you can't get better affirmations than from Lonnie, and you can't get more excitement and passion than from Rachel, and you can't get a more positive outlook than from Nathan. And you know, there's Taryn. So you know,
Well,
I figured since it was
There's
our
Taryn.
festival, it wasn't going to be a.
But no,
list.
you know, I mean, when it comes down to it, we don't have the arrangements we do without Taryn. I mean, that's the reason why we sound the way we do as a team,
true.
because he's able to do things that people that are been on Broadway forever just still can't even do, as composers or even arrangers. So, you know, that has allowed us a leg up in this industry. So I feel like this is a fantastic team, not only built upon their personality types, but their skill sets that they bring to the table that will be able to help a lot of artists. And that's what we're in the game for. And you were going to say, Rachel, sorry.
No, I was just actually going to, I was going to thank our creators, Alan and Gray. And the reason I want to do that, and, you know, I wasn't prompted to, but I have to say, as a young female producer and director in this world, there's not often an opportunity to be a part of a group of people who truly believe in fighting for musical work, who believe in fighting for the voices not heard, for looking at the obscure, and have no problem saying exactly how they feel and what they want to see and why it's important, regardless of the repercussion. It is such an important thing to be a part of. You know, as was mentioned in there, be the change. Rose said, be the change. There has never been a leadership team I've seen more that allows us to be the change. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing too big, and there's nothing too small. We are not scared. We do not care. We're going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And we need to hear these voices, and we need to make a difference. We need to change the way musicals are consumed. And thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this team. And thank you for making it a thing at all. So
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and I think also if you want to join us and you want to disrupt two different industries, this is the chance, you know? And I think disruption is great because I think through disruption, we get innovation. And dear goodness, our two industries definitely need innovation. You know, theater has what we call a graying audience. So who's going to be our new ticket buyers, ticket buyers, you know, who is the new audience? And where are they at? And I can tell you right now, theater has no idea where they're at, you know? And then you have movies who are like, okay, we can't be in the theater. How do we keep this business going? So they're all at a crisis moment right now. Even without coronavirus, they still would have been at a crisis moment. They just got caught with their pants down because of Corona. And now we just have the more of an opportunity because the audience is kind of held captive in their living rooms. Thank you. And we're, you know, and so I'm very excited, you know. Does anyone, else have anything, Nathan?
No.
Or Nathan likes to sit back and not really say a lot, you know.
Yeah, I think Rachel put it perfectly.
Nathan's our calm, quiet joy. He's just always positivity. Positivity, not
Yeah, I mean, very well, super well spoken. I'm just like sitting here nodding to everything. Just like, yeah, this is great. But even though I may be the calm, quiet presence in the room, I am not afraid to disrupt things whenever they need to be disrupted. And, you know, it definitely needs to happen. So my thing is, I just love to work on something and then be like, boom, here it is. Let's surprise the world. So Let's surprise the world.
Absolutely.
We're also looking for presenting sponsors and anyone that wants to be a part of helping us bring this festival to life. So if you have a company or you are working at a company and you care about voices that don't get to really be heard, we would love for you to be a part of our family. And the person you will be talking to is either Taryn or to Rachel, either one of those folks, and they will be happy to direct you to the right place and get you all settled into our family moment to help us bring voices. I feel like I'm starting to sound like a church person, you know. Just call our number and
It's an infomercial.
we will
Wait, we
send
gotta
out
roll
some
the banner.
prayers for you. No, I'm
Well,
a
and
church person.
Ricky, there's no, and like Ricky's saying, you know, there's all different types of partnership, whether you're a creative type who wants to be a part of the process or you have a company, and sponsorship is big. There are all levels of sponsorship. It's not just fiscal, right? There are ways to support this festival and these new works in ways other than monetary means, and nothing is too small, right? Nothing is too small. So if you have anything you think you can contribute, no matter what it is, let us know. Reach out to Taryn and I. We will likely say yes, and we will find a way to help you in turn.
I mean, in short and skinny, we have this platform. It's open wide, but we need you to help guide us with what we want to build. And so this is not just like a dictatorship, and like, even though we are, I don't want to use the word disruptive, but we're energetically effervescent in pushing boundaries. And so with Say So, we need someone to drink this. We need someone to guide us. And with your input, and with your, it could be monetarily, it could be energetically, it could be all the things that actually we need to keep our breath moving. We welcome you, because we're a growing, expansive musical theater world, just willing and waiting to be expanded. And so we need your voice as well to be part of this. So however you can, we welcome you.
Join us.
I think that's it. I think that's got all we got.
I think that covers it. Yeah, we're really excited to have everybody see what's in store next for us, and we've been working on it since the end of last year's festival. We've been working on this, so everyone's going to get something extremely powerful and really well put together, because we're working hard to make sure that you do, and we're working hard to make sure that those shows that deal with the marginalized voices are amplified. So stay with us, keep the dial turned towards us, and you'll be hearing a lot more from us really soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.